Hi, and welcome back to Expert Talks. I'm Agathe Ducar. Today we're with Justin Naik, who has spent many years in engineering and operations product department at Enablon. Justin will explain to us the concept of digital twins, including what the future may look like. Justin, thank you so much for being here.
And thanks for the invite, Agathe. I'm super happy to be here.
Well, that's great. So let's start by briefly explaining what a digital twin is.
Okay, sure. So, we all know how our focused view on operations works in real life, but understanding how they've behaved holistically or even predicting how they will behave, given all of the outside influences that are not under our control, is a lot trickier. A digital twin aims to model that real life in a digital counterpart, often graphically or visually. It doesn't have to be 3D either. It can be a map or even a technical drawing, for example.
Yeah, so now what's the current maturity of digital twins in, let's say, asset-intensive and high-risk industries like oil and gas, chemicals, or others?
Yeah, great question. So many of the super majors, as we call them, are investing heavily in products and, of course, their homegrown tools. So it's a real mishmash out there. But don't think it's just oil and gas. Think also NASA, for example, where this really kicked off. Manufacturing, mining, or construction, to name a few. What's really clear is they're all willing to invest in their technology. And it's a super hot topic in the client advisory board that I chair with our largest clients.
Yeah, that's interesting because we can really see that digital twins are basically a reality today. Can you give us maybe a few more use cases of digital twins and maybe the value they create?
Yeah, absolutely. For example, if we look at shutdowns and turnarounds, these are effectively super intensive projects that involve large areas, sometimes whole assets. And don't forget about the number of disciplines that are involved as well. It's everyone. It's not just engineering or operations. So that makes the process prone to breakage, and it can be dangerous. So using a twin, you can look into the future, you can avoid those conflicts, you can see cumulative risk, and you can plan before that conflict even arises. And of course, operational efficiency goes through the roof because you think about all those reduced number of site visits that you need for planning, or even the unplanned shutdowns that you don't want to have happen. And it's not just shutdowns, this really works in daily planning too.
Wow, yeah, we can see how digital twins can help you save time and money and make everything more efficient. We can also see that the data is key. Can you tell us what we should consider for digital twins as far as data points?
Yeah, definitely. So top of the list for me, of course, is going to be control of work. So nothing is planned or occurs on a plant, if you think about it, without a permit. So that's a super rich source of both historical data and also current operations and what's next. So that's everything from, say, a high-risk hot permit job to something like a lifting plan or to energy isolations. And we also record operational risks. So that's when an asset isn't, for example, operating on an agreed standard. Next after that is APM data. And those asset performance tools know all about the bad actors. And they got crucial IoT information and they're doing predictive analysis. Well, do they know, will this part fail? Is it running outside of its operating window? And the final one is the killer feature, which is mapping that to the real-time data. So if you think about a digital historian like AussieSoft Pi, that's capturing all sorts of information such as pressure or temperature. And if you can now relate that to the ongoing works, then you're better informed to either do the job right the first time or actually avoid an incident.
Wow. Yeah, and how does a software system like Enablon would help?
Yeah, good question. So tools like control of work tools have their own twins, if you think about it. So modeling sites and its activity, you already do that on something like site graphics or GIS, or even digitally marked up on a drawing like a PNID. And we have interactive scheduling and things like that. But what's really key now is on top of that, we're trying to be open with the data. So the APIs or program interfaces allow our clients to retrieve that information and plot them in their homegrown tools so they can mash the worlds together.
That's really interesting, Justin. Let's end this video by looking ahead. What is the future of digital twins?
Okay, I'm going to go with a super cliche, but the future is already here. So we see our clients using those site graphics and GIS that I mentioned in planning meetings and also in the control rooms. And of course, immersive headsets like RealWear, they're all the rage too now. So that's bringing all of this really rich contextual data right to the connected worker. We're predicting incidents before they happen, so building, for example, digital barrier models with real-time data from sources such as a safety critical backlog maintenance overrun or to gaps in training records. And one thing I'm talking a lot about now is 360 risk. I know you've heard me talk about this. So that's where the market really needs to go. So that's pushing risk-driven learnings and outcomes to everyone in the organization, but showing the relevant risks contextually to the right person to help them make the right decisions. So for example, a stop the job risk, you want to give that to a connected worker, not necessarily to the CEO. So that's where we think this is going to go. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's excellent. Well, thank you so much, Justin, for sharing your knowledge on digital twins. And thank you all for watching Expert Talks. Stay tuned for more insights on industry topics.